hand pass away to Brown. Brown back to young Wilson. Oh, bursting through the pack there is Gans. Ooh. Kicked off the ground, almost through. Very clever bit of work by Geelong West, but relieving for Winchelsea and getting the ball knocked out of bounds in the forward pocket. A very good effort by Jackson Smith it was to relieve the pressure. They were an enormous amount then. The last thing they want to do is concede the first goal to Geelong West.
Well, it would be a bit of a dagger, wouldn't it, really, if that was to happen, as we see the ball to be thrown in deep in attack, the Giants, with an opportunity to maybe just put this one out of arm's length, or arm's reach for the Winchelsea Blues, as the Winch boys do well in terms of finding their way to Tyson Berg, who marks at right half back. He uses the commentary side of the ground, and the big leap's going to need to come, and it does come on that occasion from Daniel Sprigg. Second in line on that occasion, but did very nicely, judged it beautifully. He's kicked towards half forward. The mark, in fact, centre wing, the ball to ground. Here's an opportunity for the Blues to progress. They do so with a succession of handballs. There's Smith, who copped a bit of a whack there on that occasion, Smith. He's obviously a target. He's a great player. And the kick from the Blues is sadly towards their interchange bench and over the line, which means that it is going to go the way of the Giants. 7:11:53 plays 4:11:35. We are just 2 minutes into this fourth and final term, and this game, which looked, for all intents and purposes, going the way of the Giants, is certainly up for grabs right now. And that's a pretty ordinary kick along the line. In fact, I'm not even sure that that one came into play.
I don't think it was ever in play, Wes.
So, as a consequence, the umpire is going to have a little bit of a chat to the boundary umpire and just ask if, in fact, that did come into play. And, in fact, it is deemed to be out of bounds on the full. So it is going to go the way of the Winchelsea Blues right in front of us in the commentary position. 18 points separate the two sides. The Blues towards half forward. Could have been a bit of a hold. Umpire didn't see it there on that occasion. The Giants, there's another hold, and he saw that one, and it's going to go the way of Geelong West at half back. So the recipient of the free kick is Tyson Doherty. Doherty surveys the landscape both in front and to the side of him, and once again he comes to the commentary wing and finds his teammate in Braden Mitchell, plays on immediately, and Mitchell drives his team forward and running onto it. Oh, good mark by the Blues, quickly getting the handball out to the advantage of a teammate, and it's going to be Bailey Cale, although he's under enormous pressure because the handball just wasn't well directed on that occasion. He might have given a free kick away, but he does well to hide it, and eventually the ball up right in front of the WorkSafe scoreboard that says 7:11:53, plays 4:11:35.
Bailey Cale, of course, on the front cover of this afternoon's GDFL record. If you're at the ground, purchase one. 32 pages of quality news.
Put together by Alex Tagani, and a very good publication it is indeed.
Oh, I wasn't going to mention that part. That's all right.
Jackson Smith wins the ball for Winch, kicks the ball forward. Berg running onto it, but intercepted by West Play. But Berg lays a very, very strong tackle, puts a lot of pressure on. Jervis wins the ball for West, kicks out wide, but Clinton Place sits under for Winch. He's knocked late by Lima and is deemed to have been incorrectly knocked, and he will win the free kick for Winch. So it's Clinton Place now, about centre wing, short kick into Berg and finds him well within distance. The young fella's taken another mark at centre half forward. He's really come into the game in the second half and will kick for goal from probably 45 metres. He legged that good for a youngster. Alex should make the distance.
Oh, look, he 4 goals won last week. I keep saying it, and most of those, in fact, I reckon 4 of those 5 scoring shots came from contested marks, 35 out from goal. So he's got the accuracy, he's got the sporting ability. We've got a few famous Bergs in his family, but right now the emphasis is on this kick to trim the margin down to 2 goals.
Yeah, it's a long kick by Berg, but it's never on line. Went as straight as a gun barrel, but just to the right of the goalpost. So that's Winch's 12th behind. 4:12:36 brings the margin under 3 goals, probably for the first time since midway through the second quarter. So West now are released, a short kick in. Doherty gets the ball to Jervis. Jervis hand passes back. Ball's being kicked down, looking for Blair. Blair comes over and takes a very, very strong mark indeed. Kicks the ball down the line again. He'll be looking for Mitchell, who took that spectacular mark before, takes a really good mark now. A quick hand pass out to his teammate in white, but they can't get away. Mitchell's tackled and he's deemed to have dropped the ball, so West have got the fumbles a bit. Ball comes out to Ricky Sawney, a beautiful left foot kick down, looking for Thomas. Over the back to Berg. Berg's now on the left foot, kicks in towards the forward line, and this time he's missed the left-hand side. 13th behind a Winch, 4:13.37. Geelong West, 7:11.53. Winch once again got all their momentum, Alex.
Yep. Dyson Berg, I did mention the family connection. He's the great nephew of Ron Bucketberg from our station, 94.7 The Pulse. But it's all Winchelsea now. Daniel Sprigg gets the handball out to Carrisher, and there's 5 goals in a row for the Winchelsea Blues.
Yeah, wonderful snap across his body from Carrisher. Once again, pressure or even perceived pressure on the West defence has caused a fumble, and Winch were able to capitalise. They're really making the most of their advantage now, and they've got a hell of a roll. And this is quite amazing, the way the game's changed.
Well, it was all about momentum, as mentioned earlier, and now it is certainly game on. 7:11.53 West, Winchelsea 5:13.43. And if Winch don't get up, Brennan Forsman will be furious at the inaccuracy, because 18 scoring shots apiece. So nothing separating these two sides. However, 10 points separating these two sides on the scoreboard. The Giants just holding the advantage. As we see the ball thrown up between the big men once again. Jervis wins it down. Who's going to get the takeaway? It's going to be the Blues. Here's Brodie Wilson. Swings it onto the right. Tries to curl it around to the advantage of Smith. He goes to ground. He's still good enough to get the handball out. It's back to Brodie Wilson. In ball at the 50, and it's Sawney that takes the mark. So he's on a reasonably acute angle, but he'll kick from 45 metres out. And this is really building to be an exciting finale between these two sides. This cracking GDFL clash, and of course it's the Vic Country WorkSafe game of the month. His shot on goal starts right, it comes back, but it doesn't come back far enough. Winch move along to 5:14.44, now trailing by 9 points. Geelong West 7:11.53 as they were at three-quarter time. We're now 7.25 minutes into the fourth quarter.
We should mention that bit of play by Smith. I can easily see why you have him in team of the year. That was a magnificent bit of play under enormous pressure.
Certainly do it, but I don't judge the team. It's usually the other commentators with that job.
Yeah, the ball's been kicked out long out to West. Winchelsea grabbed hold of the ball but forced over the boundary line. It was Skinner who dragged the ball over, but they're still in the forward line, which is a very important thing, putting enormous pressure on the West defence at this stage. Again, Matheson and Jervis. Matheson gets the tap over the back of the pack, but it's West who win possession. Quick kick forward. They can't get the ball. Doherty's trying to get it out of the pack. Fensley fumbles forward. Ricky Sawney gets his hands on, but quickly taken out of his hands by White. He kicks forward for West very quickly out into the path of Carraher. He gets it towards Skinner, but the umpires deemed it was out of bounds before he did that. So we'll have a boundary throw-in. Oh, no, he must have infringed somewhere. It's Doherty who's going to take a free kick for West before that ball was thrown in. Doherty kicks forward, looking for his teammate who drops a relatively simple mark. That was Milnes. Drops the ball on the half-forward flank, and we'll have a boundary throw-in right underneath one of those massive light towers that brightens this ground up for those night games that are played here. So it's Cole, who we haven't seen much of today, wins that tap out, but knocks it straight forward over the boundary line again, and we'll have a repeat of the same. We've got 8 minutes and 40 seconds into this quarter, so plenty of time for Winch. They literally need 2 straight kicks, and they'll be in front. It's what an extraordinary turnaround this has been from just half an hour ago. Jervis, quick hit down towards Doherty. Doherty snaps forward, one bounce. Pierce Johnson is the recipient of that weird bouncing football. Toner quickly snaps over the shoulder, but the ball runs through for one behind only. So West 7:12.54. Winchelsea 5:14.44. 10-point margin to the Giants 9 minutes into the last quarter.
If you're just joining us, Geelong West actually had a 43-point margin at this point in last quarter, down to 10 points. And I'll tell you what, they didn't win a game last season when they were the cheaters, but they came within 6 points of Winchelsea round 3 under lights on this ground when they surrendered a 10-point margin at this point in that game as well. So bit of deja vu here at Eastern Reserve.
The Blues on the attack again. It was Matheson that took the mark in from the kick in, and now they are able to progress from the commentary side of the ground. The kick towards Smith. He takes the mark, running the same direction of the football. Was that a 50-metre penalty? That's certainly what the Winch Blues were appealing for. Good work as he finds Clinton Place as he pushes it out wide, and Place takes the mark some 35 metres out from goal, but a fairly acute angle. He will be on the... He'll be kicking from the right forward pocket in front of the magnificent pavilion here at the Eastern Reserve in Winchelsea. They've got a fantastic community facility here. Here's Place. He comes in now. He's side trailing by 10 points. He starts it out left. It won't even score, although there's a real opportunity emerges for the Blues. The handball comes out to Sorty. He swings around on the right. He kicks towards the goal. He likes it. More importantly, the goal umpire likes it. And there's another major for the Blues. They are within 4 points of the Geelong West Giants here at Eastern Reserve. 7-12-54 West, but Winch move along to 6-14-50. And what a cracking game we've got on our hands.
6 individual goal kickers for Winchelsea. They've kicked the last 6 in a row. 4 points the margin. You could not have asked for a better work-safe AFL Victoria game of the month. And not a bad game to debut in this box. Rob, you're enjoying this game?
I am indeed. And what I was talking about before, the fitness thing, because already we're seeing Winch are able to create space in the forward line, which they haven't been able to in the first 3 quarters. So they've got a bit of run, and West are really struggling to keep up with them. So they're going to have to rely on their senior players to really hold this game tight. And Hambrook comes out of the centre, quickly kicks forward. It's gone over the back of the pack. It's Sprigg who's trying to win possession for the Winch side. He does, but he's quickly tackled, dragged over the line, and there will be a boundary throw in the forward pocket. That ball come out of the centre very easily, didn't it?
44 points was the margin at one stage. We're just going over from our stats department at level 1 of this 3-story GDFL media building, which we have built here at Winchelsea. No, I'm only joking. Wes Cusworth with all the stats as usual.
7-12-54 place, 6-14-50. Winch on the attack. Have they captured the lead for the first time today? No, they haven't. The quick snap-on goal from deep in that left forward pocket is producing just the one behind, but it's back to a 3-point ball game. West have led all day and are in real danger of being overrun here by a rampant Winchelsea. 12 minutes gone, 4th term. It's 54 plays 51.
We've got a mark to West. It's deep in the back pocket. It looks like Aldridge. Aldridge is going to kick the ball forward, but he's missed everything. Kicked it out of bounds on the full. They're just really starting to fall to pieces there, the Giants mob. No, it's been off, bumbled off hands, and it's going to be a boundary throw in the forward pocket for Winch. They've got all the pressure on. They're really winning these one-on-one contests, starting to get the ball out in some open spaces. So the ball goes up. Jervis quickly knocks it down, almost unopposed. Aldridge comes forward for his side, kicks out long towards the win.
Watch out for Bav.
It's Mitchell again, but well done by Bordavalis. Punches it clear, gets himself set up. A quick hand pass out, but it's intercepted. Gets it across to Mitchell. Mitchell quickly kicks down, but Hambrook is interfering for West Plans. Kicks the ball forward very quickly. Berg tries to run onto the ball. He grabs his opponent very quickly. It's Doherty coming through, but Hambrook gets onto the loose ball, kicks it out into the path of Place. Place is going to get there first, but now a West defender comes out. Jervis it is who relieves the pressure with a hand pass across to Gans, and Gans kicks the ball down to the wing to his teammate in Milnes. Mill kicks further forward, looking for Pierce Johnson. He's going to run onto the ball, and whether he can find a teammate downfield, he's had it an awful long time. Kicked Cox, and Caleb Brown wins possession.
Umpire wants it back to half back.
He's calling back. He penalised him for having it too long, and just as he released it,
advantage, Alex.
I would have thought so, but Brendan Beveridge, he's umpired more games than me and you, and or me combined. Actually, you did have umpired a few games, haven't you, Wes?
Over 500, Alex. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. That was out of all the people to say
that's
that.
All right, that's all right.
You caught me off guard.
It is 6:15 to 7:12. Ball kicked down the line, but coming out and taking a saving mark is Paddy Dwyer for the Geelong West Giants. He's right on centre wing, trying to slow the ball down and get his side back into this game, because at the moment they're not really part of it. Caleb Brown intercepts, can't hang on to the mark, trying to win possession. Quick hand pass out to, it's a quick tackle there. It's, who was it? That number 17 for Winch there, Elliott. Elliott has been grabbed very high.
Gee, he doesn't look all that well as a result of that tackle.
He does not indeed, and there's a 50-metre penalty. Umpire Rod McKenzie marks right on the 50-metre line, far side of the ground, and it's going to be Elliott is going to come forward and take the kick. He's finally got back to his feet, looking a little worse for wear.
They left him behind, Rob.
Yeah, hand passes the ball to Tavai Sawney. He kicks long right to the hot spot. Berg's up in the pack trying to mark, but knocked away from his hands by the West defenders. Berg rallies and lays a really, really strong tackle or Tavai, sorry, Ricky Sawney comes out and wins the pressure on.
That's the Nick Davis spot.
The Nick Davis spot. There's a crowd of players on top of the ball. There will be a ball up. Again, some really fierce defensive work from Winch's forwards to lock it in there, because they were outnumbered 5-2. But between Berg and Ricky Sawney, they've been able to force this ball up, which has been really important. So the ball's thrown up. It's tapped down. It's West who've got the running. A very, very good bit of ruck work. Releases Doherty. He kicks long down the wing, but again into a nest of Winch players. Thomas picks up the ball, but he's tackled very quickly. He was on his own for a little while there, but seemed to lose. Skinner gets the ball out the back to Brown. Brown short passes across to Daniel Harding. Harding kicks forward, but it's a very scrubby kick. It's 36. There is Skinner for Winch. Tries to get the ball, but it's going to be a ball up right in front of the scoreboard, showing Winch 51, Geelong West 54. We're 16 minutes into the final quarter.
Well, the game really in the balance now, when we know that 10 minutes into the third quarter, it was a 44-point spread enjoyed by the Giants, as we see the quick handball come out, and there could be a high tackle. Yes, that's exactly how the umpire adjudicates. And certainly was right on the spot there. And the recipient of the free kick will be Angwerda. He offloads by hand to a man standing stationary, which always leaves me a little bit perplexed, but nonetheless it produces a kick which turns the footy over to Skinner. So Skinner at centre half back, and he goes square. He's got a man in a bit of space, but he is just a little too heavy with the kick, and as a consequence it's over the boundary line in front of our WorkSafe scoreboard. So we have two scoreboards here at Winchelsea today. We have the fantastic Winchelsea scoreboard, and we also have the WorkSafe scoreboard, which is equally brilliant in terms of its production of a visual nature, which is pleasing the crowd here, which is a good crowd at Eastern Reserve, enjoying a terrific game between these two sides. 3 points separating the two sides. It looks like it's going to be an absolute thriller as Angwerda sends his side forward. Taking possession now is Gans. Gans sweeps the handball out nice and wide, and the Giants progress with a long kick inside 50. Toner's down there, but he's not going to get anywhere near the contest, and Bervidalis it is that is able to clear for the home side.
Looking for Matheson. The ball comes down, and out the back of the pack, it's Karkeek who takes a relieving mark for Geelong West. On to Richie. Richie kicks forward, and a very, very strong mark.
Braden Mitchell.
Indeed, by Mitchell, who's had good hands all afternoon. He's taken 3 or 4 really good marks, one of them standing on someone's head just in front of us.
Which with any other player is spectacular, Rob, but I'm sorry, with Braden Mitchell, that's just the regular. That's what you get every week when you see this boy play. They desperately needed him, West, when they played here in that climatic 6-point game last year. Unfortunately, he was overseas, made his debut the following week. But look, Geelong West's last goal came from, not Pierce Johnson, Idawerda at the start of the third term.
That started left and stayed left, 1 point. West extend their lead to 4 points. We're 18 minutes into the final quarter. Daniel Harding for Winch has the ball again in the square, looking to kick back in. He's gone long down the middle. He's put it towards Thomas, and Jervis for Geelong West go up. No mark. Its ball hits the ground. Jervis has got a crumb, a second chance at it. Tries to get it forward. No one can get a clean possession of it. West again trying to handball. Just an absolute scrum of players. Jervis has got it. Been dragged to the ground. Will have a ball up. There's about 18 players around that little section of play.
Well, you don't have one Winchelsea player in their forward half. You do have 3 spare Geelong West players back making that wall with Brent and Ritchie, but all the balls in the half-forward line for the Giants right now.
Berg pushes his player out of the road, and it's young Wilson who kicks the ball long forward. But as Alex said, there's West players back. It's just whether Thomas can get back quick enough to put some pressure on. West pushing the ball out towards the boundary through Harding. He can't win possession, and it's young Kale now picks it up. Hand passes quickly to Devise Sawney. Across to Hambrook. Kale gets it back again. Hand passes back to Hambrook. He kicks long into the square. Thomas is there underneath the pack. Berg. Here we go. Berg over the shoulder. Kicks the ball through for a goal. And for the first time this afternoon, the Winchelsea Blues are in front. Unbelievable as it is, but they have hit the front at the 20-minute mark of the last quarter in a spectacular turnaround, which has really happened in just the last 40 minutes of play. They've kicked the last 7 goals of the game to go to the lead, 7-15, 57 to 7-13, 55. It has been quite extraordinary, Wes.
It has been indeed. In fact, it's 40 minutes, Alex, since we've seen a Geelong West goal.
Yeah, well, it took us, I think, 75 minutes for Winchelsea to kick a goal, and yeah, 40 minutes since West kicked their last. It's amazing how this game works sometimes.
20 minutes have elapsed in this last quarter. The takeaway with the Giants, the kick towards the commentary side of the ground, but it's getting numbers there, and that is the issue, and it's Winch that does it the best. The quick kick comes, and it's partially smothered there on that occasion, but it's good enough to progress the ball for Winchelsea. Here's an opportunity for them to go inside 50. It's a scrubbing sort of kick forward. There's Sawney. He tries to gather possession. Could have been a hold. He's just working the ball pretty well in front of him there until the Giants come in and intervene by courtesy of numbers. And the mark is taken on centre wing by Chesney Milne. So Milne sends his team forward. He has Engwerda, who takes a nice diving mark in front of his opponent. He's encouraged by his teammates to move the ball on quickly.
50.
And there's a player running into the protected area. I suspect that it is going to be called John Hambrook, who did that by umpire Beveridge, and he is going to take Engwerda right within 15 metres of the goals, and this is an ideal opportunity for the Giants to recapture the lead. So umpire Beveridge gesticulating and telling players to get way out of the way now as Engwerda comes in. Just a slight angle as he comes in, and he kicks Troy, and the Giants are back in front here at Eastern Reserve. Well, they led for the entire game until just moments ago when that Berg goal gave Winchelsea the advantage, and now Engwerda actually gives his side the advantage once again. 8-13-61. That's Geelong West. Winchelsea 7-15-57. 22 minutes have elapsed in this last quarter.
And look, the league, we've had negative press in the last 24 hours. We had a few blowout games, all right, we understand that. Bannockburn and Belpastil, both with heavy wins. But the fact of the matter is we have top-class, thrilling football. Winchelsea, they had a 6-point win over Geelong West on this ground. They had a 3-point win over Karaya on this ground last year. And now this year, at the 22-minute mark of the final term, they trail by 4 points. All it takes is one kick either way in the next passage, boys, and it could be game over.
Yeah, Matheson and gets it down to Karaha, and they're the two of the players that have to keep the pressure on. Tavai Sawney's going to win a free kick being held during that marking contest. Comes down to the back of the pack. It's Place and Thomas. Thomas releases Karaha again. He runs brilliantly around the boundary line. Kicks ball, I reckon, was just smothered a bit. Now it's deemed to be out on the full. It's at this time that the Winch senior players need to keep the young fellas up because they still have the momentum regardless of that last goal. That was certainly against the flow of play. So they've got to just instill in the young fellas that they've got the run and they've got the game in their control if they can just keep doing what they've been doing the last 40 minutes.
Well, we've still got 6 minutes to run here, I suspect, Rob.
Yeah, at least that, I'd reckon, on the previous quarters. Balls go into the centre of the ground. Bailey Cale trying to win possession, but it's Mitchell for Geelong West who wins the ball, kicks it long down, looking for Milnes. Coming out very quickly is young Wilson. He gets the ball across to Skinner. Skinner dodges around and kicks very, very neatly out and finds Ricky Sawney. So it's Ricky Sawney now, centre wing for Winch, just holsing up, gets his left foot, kicking out cross play, looking for Place. Place and Lima. Arriving on the scene is Byron Matheson. He taps the ball in front of him, continuing to work it forward. Place again has a timely little tap. Byron Matheson gets it out to Karaher. He's tackled and the ball will be balled up. But that was real persistence by the big Byron Matheson. He's really lifted his game in the second half and he's carrying this young side with him towards what was a very unlikely victory if they can just get themselves back in front. 4 points down, 24 minutes into the last quarter.
Throw up by the umpire. The big men contest it and it's worked over the boundary line some 40 metres around from the Winchelsea goal. So there's every opportunity for the home side to recapture the lead here. They trailed for almost the entirety of the game. In fact, they've led for about 2 minutes in its entirety, but it's the Giants in control right at the moment, but just by 4 points. Ball fisted into the corridor, dangerously so for the Giants. A succession of handballs, and in fact they're called for a throw. The free kick is going to go the way of the young fella in Bailey Cale, and he will have a set shot for goal from just 35 metres out. Wow. You could hear the coach's bench alongside us in the commentary position call it don't handball, and that's what they did, and unfortunately they were tackled. So here we go, Cale with an opportunity to put his side in front. Winchelsea, the shot on goal from Cale is missing, is it?
I think the umpire likes it.
Yeah.
He's not like it. Wow.
Snuck in.
There was a real sense of a real pregnant pause there on that occasion, as I'm sure Winchelsea didn't even know whether that was going to be called a goal, but it was. And Cale kicks a goal that puts the Blues back in front by 2 points. Winchelsea 8-15-63, leading Geelong West 8-13-61.
And Bailey Cale, he's just come off the bench now, got the tap from the Forsmans, and Bortavalis comes on. Look, how would you feel? You're a teenager, you're front cover of the record, you've got all this pressure, let a few balls slip on Braden Mitchell, and then boom, you might have kicked the winner. Winchelsea by 2 points, maybe 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's very close. Carragher, another player who's lifted in the second half, tries to win possession. Jackson Smith also made some very, very telling moments into this game to get his side back into the game. Both involved in that. We've forced another ball up just inside the back end of the centre square for the Blues. Jervis and Matheson. Jervis wins that one quickly down towards Skinner. Skinner hand passes out. Young Daniel Harding gets pushed out of the way too easily, trying to win the ball back for his team. But it's Justin White showing great strength for West. Can't get out of the pack though. There's a heap of players around it. The umpire calls for a ball up just as it bobbled its way out. But unfortunately for the Blues, it'll be back to another ball up. Jervis and Matheson again. Matheson, a big punch over the back. The umpires said that he's... Oh, what's the hell? I'm not quite sure what he's done here. He's calling for another ball up, I think. Yes, he's going to ball it up again for some reason. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
I think he actually copped a contact to the back himself and probably didn't see what happened after that.
And exact repeat. Matheson punches the ball forward. It's Karkeek who comes out for West, kicks the ball long down the line, looking for his teammate over the back. His Skinner almost takes a really good mark for West. Nguerta's trying to get a hand on the crumb. Caleb Brown comes out of the pack, quicks it forward, but the umpires deemed it was out of bounds before he made contact. And we'll have a throw-in on a darkening Eastern Reserve at Winch. We might be only time to turn those lights on, Alex. A bit harder to see on the other side of the ground at the moment. We've only got 3 or 4 minutes left. Winch hanging on desperately to a 2-point lead.
Well, their last night game was a 160-point loss, so I think they'll want to keep them off just for now, just for the, I don't know, superstitious fans.
And for Nathan McClure's sake, that was the great Bellpost Hill Panthers who delivered that
There you
telling
go,
loss.
Packer. There you go, there's your mention.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Out of bounds in the full after a quick snap at goal, so Winch win possession back again. It'll be Elliott who's got the ball. Both coaches' benches screaming instructions out. All 36 players forward of the centre, pushing down towards the 50-metre arc of the west forward line. So it's Elliott now who kicks the ball very, very scrubbily.
Could have a West shot here.
And Geelong West will have a shot at goal from about 45 metres. That's a very, very long kick indeed into the square, punched over the back of the pack by a Winchelsea defender in Michael Bortavalis. And we'll have a point. It's now a 1-point ball game, 28 minutes into the last quarter. It's young Skinner who has the ball in the goal square from Winch under enormous amount of pressure to get this into a good spot. So he's gone long down the line to the far side wing, looking for a teammate. Pack of players fly. No one been able to win the ball. Again on the ground. Tackles. And the umpire's going to ball it up again. We've seen a lot of those today in these really good conditions. Quite a surprise.
Now, with a 1-point ball game, 29 minutes into the last term, I will mention, if it's a draw, I do believe Thompson will be remain in the top 5 for another week.
What a cracking contest we've got here at Eastern Reserve as we see the Blues trying to escape with a succession of handballs, and now a driving kick towards half-forward, the big leap, and a good mark taken by Tyson Berg. He wants to move it on quickly. He puts it into space. He's got a teammate running onto it. Here's an opportunity for perhaps a sealer for the Blues, but it's taken away by the defensive unit of the Giants. Well done. Cleverly kicking towards a teammate on centre wing, and he runs over the boundary line. Well, the boundary umpire, one of the bigger calls of his young career, one would imagine. But it was the right call.
That was the right call.
I had a good view of that one. It was exactly the right call as the ruckmen move into place now. They set themselves. It's taking it out of the ruck is Jervis. A quick kick forward, taken on this occasion by Brian Elliott. Brian Elliott tries to get his kick away, but tackled at the same time, and now the ball in hotly pursuit as we hear the siren sound, and the Blues have won by 1 point after trailing for the bulk of the game. In fact, almost the entirety of our contest here at Eastern Reserve. It's Winchelsea 8-15-63 Winchelsea, Geelong West 8-14-62.